Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez and Pat Sherwood. Now just mere days away from the start of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games. We're going to pick our top 5 for the men, and there are going to be some familiar names missing from our lists.
Some familiar names missing, and I'm going to give away my secret coveted technique for this, which is about 5% science and 95% just raw gut emotion.
I actually took darts and closed my eyes and threw them at a board and wherever they landed. You know,
that's usually how I draft my fantasy football team. I try to do a little more of something scientific.
Really?
I doubt that's going to work out, but we're going to start with the 5th and the 4th place gentlemen, the men who will be finishing just off of the podium. We will start with Tommy. Who is in 5th place for you?
5th place for me is a 2-time podium finisher in Ben Smith. He's had 4 top 10 finishes in the last 5 years, and really for him, the key is minimizing the damage on his bad events. In the 2 podium years, he's had 2 or less finishes outside the top 25. The other years, he's had 3 or more. If you can capitalize on being healthy, we could see a 3rd podium finish for him. And number 4 for me is Dan Bailey. He's had 4 straight top 10 finishes. He handily won the California Regional. This year is really the opportunity for him to crack the top 5. Lifestyle's on point, training's on point, and really he seems to be enjoying it more so than he ever has since 2011, when it was the only other year that he won his region and he had his best finish at the games. I think this is a banner year for him.
Pat, you're up next.
Solid picks.
Agree or disagree with that?
Agree and disagree to a degree. Does that make sense?
That does.
I'm going to start with 5th, and my number 5 pick is somebody that had a great rookie season, and that's Noah Olson, who took 8th place. This year, he's now a veteran. He's more confident. He's more comfortable. His goal is to win it all. He needed to improve heavy lifting, and he told me that he has. And for the first time, school is done. He had all year to 100% focus on training, and that payoff is going to be big. In 4th place, Dan Bailey. He's been in the top 10 of the games 4 years in a row. Endurance and stamina needed to improve. He told me that they have. He's got a couple little bumps and bruises like most of these guys, but he's overall healthy. Mental prep is strong. He also believes he can win, and I think finally he's going to get into the top 5 after so many years.
I'm going to jump in here as well because you guys always take all the heat for this stuff.
Really?
I'm going to upset some people.
Dive
as well,
on in, big guy.
Hashtag solidarity. And 5th place for me is Noah Olson. Last year, he was extremely impressive when he took the lead at the games for a couple of events. Really consistent so far this year. Won his regional without winning an event, but at the games last year, it was those heavy events, the clean speed ladder, and then thick and quick at the end that really hurt him. I still think he's a year or 2 away. In 4th, Ben Smith. Can't put this guy higher because of a reason I will discuss later. Great open, finished 3rd worldwide. 4th at his regional despite winning an event. He did have 3 finishes outside the top 10 there. That was a little bit concerning, but he is healthy. So I would not be surprised if you see him on the podium. But again, there's just one reason why I can't put him there. So
I can't wait to hear it.
Let's go. It's science, really. Let's go to the podium finishers, and Pat will go with you 3 through 1.
Now things are getting interesting. All right, so starting in 3rd place, the bandwagon was getting so full of people that I got bumped onto the ground, so I'm putting Matt Fraser in 3rd place, not going to win the game. Rookie of the year from last year. He had 7 top 10 finishes at the games. Everything he did last year, he's better at, undoubtedly, but I'm going to say he'll podium again, but I'm sorry, it's not going to be the gold medal. 2nd place, Ben Smith, making his 7th appearance at the games. When I talked to him on the phone, the most impressive thing he said is for the very first time since 2009, he's showing up 100% healthy. So you look at his resume, he's done that injured. So this Ben Smith's going to be terrifying. 1st place, Scott Panchik. After 3 appearances, never outside the top 5. I loved when he told me that he fully agrees with Dave Castro's statement that if you're hoping the right programming comes out and then you do well, you've already lost. What he needed to focus on last year, some gymnastics, he has. Scott's ready. It's his year.
All right, Tommy, you have to follow that bold statement made right there. Who is in your top 3?
Oh, man, I need a second, Sean, to recover from that.
Drink it in.
But my number 3 is a guy that's been so close to the podium the last few years, and that's Scott Panchik. He's had 3 straight top 5 finishes. Really, he's had two 4th-place finishes to start his career. And he's got no holes in his game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the top of the podium when all is said and done at some point in his career. But he's going to have to trust his training this year. Last year, he took a chance and push-pull, and it backfired. If he can hang around the top 3 by all said and done, he's one of the best closers in the game. He's never finished outside the top 10. on Sunday. Number 2, Noah Olson had a great rookie season, wore the white jersey for a few times. Last year was a great learning experience. He was kind of like a kid with his dad's Ferrari. Yep. Got the speed for a little bit before he eventually crashed. But he's done so well to the year this far, I think he's going to surprise some people. And my champion, Matt Fraser.
Yes.
Apparently, Pat thinks he's going to finish third, but I think he's going to win. Since the games ended last year, he's basically been the #1 contender, and everything he's done so far leads me to believe that he's deserving of that title. He won the Open. He's won his region. He trains at such a high volume, very similar to Rich. He's even gone down and trained with Rich down in Cookeville, and I think that he's just going to walk away with it.
Walk away with it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, that's another bold statement. Well, I told you I couldn't put Ben Smith on the podium. The reason why is since 2012, every man who has stood on the podium has won his regional. So I used that to help guide my picks for the top 3. And we'll start with number 3. Dan Bailey is finally going to make it onto the podium. I was super impressed with what he did at his regional. He had 2 wins and then 5 finishes of 5th or better. He's been creeping up the standings over his 4 years at the games. Remember, Rich, Jason, Josh Bridges, Tommy Hackenbrook, all not there this year. Scott Panchik will finish 2nd. Extremely consistent, won his regional without winning an event, never finished outside the top 5 at the games. I think this is the year he finally gets himself onto the podium again because those names aren't there. And in number 1, Matt Fraser, he won the Open. He beat Rich. Tommy, you mentioned that. Won his regional and won event 3. And that was the thing I think that was the scariest part for me is that this kid's now got a motor. We know he can lift. He's got stamina. He can go heavy. He's going to stand on top of the podium. 2015, and now we just get to look forward to how wrong we're going to be when this whole thing kicks off.
We'll see.
What's the one thing you guys are looking forward the most to seeing of what we know?
I mean, for so long, it's been those big names of Jason Khalipa and Rich Froning just running the show. Mm-hmm. Now that they're gone, there's a huge power vacuum at the top, and there's a lot of talent to fill it. And I don't know. I want to see if somebody's going to just win this year or start the next Froning-type reign.
I'm really excited to see Murph. It's such a story tradition type workout for us. Castro and the games organizers do such a great job of how they lay out the workout and the formatting, so it's a beautiful thing to watch. I'm excited to see what that looks like with the elite athletes on the biggest stage and what they can do. Will someone break 30?
Oof, I'm looking forward to getting out of Hermosa because we know we're starting there. We don't know what's in store, and everyone speculates, and everyone always ends up being wrong. Well, that's it for us for today. For Pat and Tommy, I'm Sean. We're back tomorrow for our top 5 picks for the women's side of things.